I quit drinking for good. Now I drink for evil.
Grab a chair, mess you in, and then sit down. It's my podcast. This guy's insane. Rock your brain. It's just a sound. A Steve here out.
All right, Schmack-a-Magob, boy, you know him, you love him. We got once again Mr. Will Carroll from Death Angel.
What's
Hi,
up,
Will.
everybody? What's up?
You see all that feedback you're getting, man?
I do see some of it. Yeah, I mean, people seem to enjoy it when we go back and forth about whatever band we're talking about.
Yeah, it makes me very jealous. It bruises my ego. No, it's awesome, dude. We do have a good repertoire. And
Yeah.
people are really digging when we go back and forth. Even when we disagree, we agree. It doesn't matter. But it's a lot of fun. And you are the one that said to me, because I threw it at you. I go, we'll do some other album. And then you just straight away, you said, man, you like Blue Öyster Cult? I was like, oh, yeah. I'd love to talk about them. And I'm like, oh, yeah, let's do that one. So let me ask you, how did you get into Blue Öyster Cult?
It was about 10 years ago, and maybe like 12 years ago. I was in a band called Scarecrow, who's actually back together again. I just recorded with them. But we were jamming, and Damien, the bass player for Death Angel, is in that band as well. And he came to practice one day with some records. He was a garbage man. He worked for 1-800-GOT-JUNK. So he'd always come to practice with a bunch of random stuff he found on the work site. And one day he brought some records into practice, and one of them was Secret Treaties. And he already had a copy of it. And he suggested I take it home and listen to it. He's like, I think you'll like this album. You should check it out. And I was like, BOC? Because I never got into him all those years. I feel like a fool denying myself the pleasure of listening to BOC. But yeah, I just knew the radio songs, and my sister was kind of into him, and she had boyfriends in high school that were all into him. And so I had heard them growing up, and they were around my household, but I just never really tripped off them. And I listened to Secret Treaties, and it was a life-changing moment. It blew me the fuck away. It's still my favorite BOC album to this day. And that was that, man. That's how I got into him.
Awesome. Yeah, I was obviously I knew about him a long time. My first Blue Öyster Cult album, I don't remember. I think I may have had the live album. I'm not sure, but I know for sure the first album I bought that was brand new that they just released was Cultosaurus Erectus in '80.
Oh, great! That's a great time to get into him.
Yeah, and I really dig that album cover because, when I was a kid, I was into dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to check this out, and, oh, man, I ended up loving it. But believe it or not, I mean, like the black and white albums, I got kind of late because Blue Öyster Cult was one of those weird bands that it wasn't until, like, my mid-20s I really started, like, dwelling into their stuff because... then I got Fire of Unknown Origins, which I love as well.
Uh-huh.
And the live album, Some Enchanted Evening, I remember getting that when it was new. But then I kind of stopped. And I did stop at a good time, and I'll talk about that later when we get to those albums. But
okay. I'm guessing Club Ninja.
Oh, man. And the one before it, but, I'll talk about it when we get there. But oddly enough, the one before it has my all-time favorite Blue Öyster Cult song, and I don't like that album, which is weird.
Okay.
I mean, can you think of any album you hate that contains your favorite song from that band? I know that's a brain tease that you'd have to think about.
That's a hard one, man.
Yeah, there may not be one. I can't think of any other one but that Blue Öyster Cult album.
Yeah, that's a trip. I can't, not off the top of my head, I can't think of an album I hate, but my favorite song is on that album.
Yeah, it's a weird thing with me, yeah. But, then I got the black and white ones. And luckily enough, the first one I got was Secret Treaties.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, like you, it just, whoa, I need to get more of these black and white albums,
Yeah.
this early stuff. And then I gathered everything by then. But I'd say like maybe 2025, between 24 25 is when I started really like looking into them. But oddly enough, I did see them back in 80 and 81. And when I saw them in 81, well, first I'll tell you, I kind of got the timeline wrong because I know both shows I saw were Fire of Unknown Origin. So I guess they were both 81. And
So it wasn't the Black and Blue tour then?
No, the Black and Blue tour didn't come here, though I did see the Heaven and Hell tour at the Highlight.
Wow.
That tour, but they didn't come with Blue Öyster Cult, but it was with Johnny Van Zant and a band called Riot. You know Riot.
Yeah, of course. Love them.
First time I ever seen Riot was, the first time I ever heard of them. It was the Narita tour, and I was blown away how good they were.
Actually, I'm not even familiar with Johnny Van Zant at all.
Johnny Van Zant was Ronnie Van Zant's brother.
Right.
Who now sings for Leonard Skinner.
Okay, right.
They were okay. I mean, they weren't bad. What you'd expect, a Southern rock band. But but I'll tell you, this is both shows I saw were kind of historic. The first one, I can't remember what show I saw first, but I'll just say the one where I saw they played the baseball stadium, Miami Baseball Stadium. It was Heart that headlined, Blue Öyster Cult, Firefall.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they had a hit. Probably if you'd hear it, you'd know it. They were like a one-hit wonder band from back then. And oddly enough, this thing called an air band, which is not technically a band. The radio station had a contest where people would go up on stage and pretend to be a band. And these group of people went up there and did Paradise by the Dashboard Lights by Meatloaf. And they won, so they got to play. But they weren't the opening act. The opening act was the very first American show of Motorhead.
Whoa!
I shit you not. And I remember, man, before we went to the show, they would play a little commercial on the radio. Motorhead's new album, Ace of Spades, and they played a little tiny clip of Ace of Spades, and I was like, we got to get there early. This shit sounds good,
Yeah.
And we did. We got there early, man. Dude, I got to tell, I'll never forget the vision. When Motorhead was up there playing, everybody was sitting down like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like headbanging. I'm going, man, this is awesome. And there were two dudes, I'll never forget, two fucking guys with their shirts off going fucking apeshit. And they were from England. So they knew Motorhead,
Right.
Yeah, that was, and then the second time I saw Blue Öyster Cult was also kind of historic. It was Blue Öyster Cult headlining with Foghat at the Hollywood Sportatorium, and MTV was there and filmed the whole show. And I have both shows now on DVD, so I actually was at, like a show that was filmed. And I have it on DVD, and it was awesome. It was just, and you can see it on YouTube, actually.
Did MTV ever air it on the station, that show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not only that, but back then there was also a show called the Blue Jean Network that also played that full show. Which, and back then, dude, it was like, I didn't have a VCR or anything. And I'm telling you, man, it was as recent as like maybe 5-6 years ago. I know a guy online that lives in North Carolina, a really cool dude that saw our gig when we played there. We became friends. He has it on DVD. So he burned me a copy, so now I have it. But you can see it. You can see, I don't know if it's a full show, but you can see ETI from that show and from the Sportatorium. It was just fucking awesome.
Totally pro shot and good sound and everything.
Yeah, totally pro shot. You can see it on YouTube, MTV concert. Back then, this was early MTV where Saturday nights they'd have a concert. Every Saturday night they'd have like an MTV concert that they would film.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of them, man. And I got it, man. So, yeah, I'm very lucky I got it. And so you want to get into the discography?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Oh, before we do, have you seen them?
Oh, yeah, dude. So I saw them before I actually got into them. I saw them in 2000, maybe like 2007, 2008. Alan Lanier was still alive. So I saw them at Slim's, and I had a great time. I thought it was a really cool show. But for whatever reason, it didn't prompt me to to delve into their catalog and buy anything. So it took a few more years until I got my copy of Secret Trees. But since then, since I got into them, I've seen them like maybe, I think, 17 times.
Damn.
Yeah, I've the last couple of summers. This summer would have been the same if it wasn't for COVID. But the last couple of summers, I followed them around and saw them at all the state fairs or all the county fairs. And I even went to a casino in Reno and saw both sets. And yeah, every time they hit the fair circuit, I'll go to Alameda County or Marin County Fair, all over the Bay Area. I'll see them, and they usually play 2 sets, so it adds up. Every time I see them twice. So yeah, I've actually only seen a regular show of theirs, not counting a fair, or like they play at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk as well for free every summer.
Wow.
Not this year though, but yeah, that's where they filmed Lost Boys, and so they're playing on the same stage where that fucking muscle guy with the saxophone is fucking doing. You know what I'm talking about? A lot.
Yeah.
So I've seen them on that same stage, but yeah, I've only actually seen them in a club, like a proper concert per se, twice. I've seen them twice at Slim's, and it's kind of funny when they play the fairs, it's free. And when they play Slims, it's like $50 fucking bucks, man. So it kind of backfires for them because most people know that if they wait like a month, they'll see him for free, at a fair or something. But it's really cool seeing them in a club because they do deeper cuts, and it's just a bit of a more real BOC show,
They do like to mix it up too, because I've seen BOC believe it or not as many times as you.
Okay.
I think I've seen them like 7 times, and I did see them. The last time I saw them was for free, was at the Miami Casino, and they played 2 nights there, one in the daytime, one in the nighttime. The next day was in the daytime, and they switched it up, man. It wasn't the same set list. And
yeah, that's what's great about them. That's why I always see them twice, like both sets, because you'll get at least one different song, but it's usually like 3 or 4 different songs.
Yeah, that's what they did at the Miami Casino. It was like maybe even more. I think there was like 4 or 5 songs. And
that's awesome.
One night they played Career Evil. Then the next day they played Take Me Away. They switched it up. It was just really cool. But anyway, before we get into the first album, I got to say, a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was a month ago or so, I did put up a Vieira Vault where me and Lee Gerstmann talked about the first album.
Okay.
So I ain't going to say jack shit about this album. If you want to hear what I think, go listen to that goddamn episode, everybody. Because only Will's going to talk about what he thinks of the very first Blue Öyster Cult album. What do you think?
I love it. It just feels like a bad acid trip in the best possible way,
Yeah.
It just has like a really creepy, bad acid trip vibe to it. And yeah, the songs are all. I like every song on that album. Transmaniacon MC, the first song is killer. It just has a total, dark. The album starts off with a dark vibe, and the lyrics are about Altamont, so it's not a friendly start to the album. And I love that, And yeah, every song, like I'm on the Lamb is a killer tune. I actually like that version better than the Red and the Black.
It's a slowed down version.
Yeah, it's just a little more mellow, and I dig it better. What else is on that album? Last Days of May.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that song is great, dude. I've only seen them play that live. Of all the times I've seen them, I've only seen them play. Maybe I've seen it twice, but the one time I remember, it wasn't even on their set list. And between songs, this was at like one of the county fairs. Between songs, some woman walked up to the stage and handed Buck Dharma something. I don't know what it was. It was a note maybe, and it came with something else too, maybe a piece of jewelry. I'm not sure. But it was a note, and he looked at the note, and he read it out loud in the mic and said, "Oh, this note says, please play The Last Days of May." So they played it. It wasn't even on the set, according to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was really special and really cool, too. The lyrics are pretty haunting, too. It's about like a guy he knew who went out to Arizona to do a drug deal and got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy. What else is on there? I'm trying to remember what
Cities of
song.
Flames is on there.
Stairway to the Stars, killer
Stairway to
tune.
Stars, yeah.
A nice upbeat track, and Before the Kiss or Red Cap. That's on the first album, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And that song's awesome too. And the story about that song is great. You know what the lyrics are about, right?
I can't remember. Remind me if I don't think I know.
A red cap is like another name for speed back then, like a
Oh,
pill you
okay.
take, like a barbiturate.
Uh-huh.
And while they were playing in some shithole, I forget the name of the club. They played there all the time in Long Island, and people would do drug deals right in front of them, but they would do it in such a nonchalant, sneaky way. Like a girl and a guy would come up and kiss each other, and the girl would have the red cap in her mouth, and she'd hand it to him with her tongue, pretty much, and
Wow.
and then he'd swallow it. So that's what the song's about, like having a kiss and getting high from the kiss.
Wow,
That's pretty fucking cool, man.
I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cities on Flame, fucking awesome, man. Albert Bouchard singing,
Yeah.
great. Workshop of the Telescopes is killer.
Yeah.
Actually, that's my least favorite song on the album, but I do love it.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of weird that they named the compilation, that awesome compilation, after that song, because that's kind of the sleeper track on the album for me, at least. Do you have that, the Workshop of the Telescopes compilation?
Yes, I do on CD, a double CD. I think wasn't it a Best Buy exclusive? Because that's what I
Yes.
bought it at Best Buy.
Yes.
I do have it, yes.
And the album ends great with Redeemed, a total kind of mellow
Love
vibe.
it. Such a killer.
What song? I'm forgetting one song. Oh, She's as Beautiful as a Foot. And
I love that title.
Yeah. The first two songs on side 2, Screams and She's as Beautiful as a Foot. Those songs connect kind of, and that's where the serious bad acid trip takes full force. And like She's as Beautiful as a Foot has like a islandy kind of vibe, like you're laying on an island, like just chilling.
Yeah.
But that song, I have a story that's not really connected to that song, but it is. I was on tour years ago. I'm not going to say who I was touring with. It's not I almost said the band. It's not Death Angel. I swear it's not Death Angel. It's years before I was in Death Angel. I was on tour with this band, and backstage, there was like an orgy going on, pretty much. The band that was touring with us was involved in it full on, and then some of the local people, like local bands, were taking part. And the band I was touring with, I don't think anyone participated. Maybe someone from our crew, but there was quite a few people like gangbanging this girl backstage, and it was in an open common area. It wasn't like behind closed doors or in a sealed off room or anything. It was on a couch in a common area. So like staff were walking by, and this girl was laying on the couch, and everyone was calling this woman Foot. Like, I mean, she was a gargoyle. There's no way around it. She was hideous.
Oh.
And so people were calling her Foot, and guy standing next to me just had sex with her, and then he's standing next to me and he's going, "Look at Foot go." He's making fun of her, calling her Foot. I go, "Dude, you just had sex with this girl. You're making fun of the way she looks. You just had sex with her." And he goes, "Hey man, a guy's got to eat." I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" You know what? That was in Florida too. It was in Florida.
Was it? I may know her.
But were you there?
My ex-girlfriend. I dated gargoyles. Was it South Florida?
I can't remember where in Florida it was, but
Florida's really.
So I didn't know about that song, the BOC song at the time. So when I finally did discover that song, I was like, "Oh shit!" They must have been referring. I mean, maybe they didn't know about the song, but I'm guessing they did. So yeah, it was a weird scene, man. They're all calling her Foot. I mean, dude, there were even people, like, I guess regulars who hang out at this club who were backstage. Her name was Susie, I think. One of the guys actually said her name and was like, Oh, you're at it again, huh, Susie? And while a guy's on top of her, pumping and sweating, she's going, "Fuck you, fuck you!" Like flipping the guy off and screaming at him while she's getting fucked. It was a horrible, it was a horrible scene, man. So yeah, that's my beautiful as a foot story.
Wow, that's an awesome story.
Yeah. So to wrap it up with that album, I love it. The album cover is amazing. And was a hell of a way to start off a 40-year career. You know, it's killer.
Do you know the story behind the inspiration of Cities of Flames?
I don't think I do.
The Wizard by Black Sabbath.
Oh, I did read that. Totally,
Yeah.
totally. And I
They
can
wanted
hear
to do
it.
it. Oh, I can hear it. I mean, this band is so versatile. It's like you get a blender and you throw in this to be chopped up in a tall drink of awesome, man. You know, they can be as heavy metal as Judas Priest, as dark and ominous as Black Sabbath, as strange as Devo, as progressive as Pink Floyd, and as smart as Rush, and as pop. You know, it has like a pop that would fit on any top 40 band at that time. Well, you know, when top 40 didn't suck. You know,
Absolutely.
that's the and not just this album. You know, this band is like a mishmash of, and they're definitely Blue Öyster Cult music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they throw in so many weird elements to their songs, and you know, and they had a lot of people writing for them too. You know, and it was just
which they got criticized a lot for. I remember back in the day, reading Cream magazine or whatever. I remember they would get panned sometimes for having so many outside writers and so many different people writing the lyrics for them. And you know, it doesn't bother me at all. It's
me neither.
I think it's kind of cool. It's like a collective more than a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's really cool.
It still goes on today, and you know, we'll talk about. I saw what you posted. We both really love that last album.
Yes.
And you got to wait a while because we got a lot of albums to go through.
Yeah.
The next one, the second of the trilogy of the black and white albums, is Tyranny and Mutations. I love this album, but I will tell you this, and it's in no way it's a slight on it, but I don't think it's as good as the other two black and white albums. But I do love this album. What do you think?
I agree 100%. It's my least favorite of the first three, but like you said, I still love the album. I think this album suffers from the production, especially the drum production, dude. They're so lo-fi on this album. They are on the first album and on the third. The first three are just kind of lo-fi overall, but the drums, especially on the very first song, they get canceled out at times. You could barely hear the snare drum. When like the 3-part harmonies are going on or 4-part harmonies, like the drums just get completely buried. So that's what kind of like holds this album back a little. Just the production though, because I do love all the fucking songs. They're great, man. Like opening up with the Red and the Black, fucking rocking, man. But that song in particular, the drums are really buried in the mix, and it would have helped out a lot if they're a little more prominent. But you know, I've been told that's a total biased opinion being a drummer, you know. And I love Bouchard's drumming. It's killer, man. He's very unique, quirky, perfect for the band, being such a quirky band that they are. And I wanted to bring up one thing you said that they could be as smart as Rush, and you know what? On the same token, they could be as dumb as the dumbest rock and roll band too.
Yeah,
I mean,
they can be as dumb as Motley Crue.
yeah, exactly. So you know they cover it all. I love it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Red and the Black, OD'd on Life itself. This album is definitely a little bit more on the hard rock side than the first album.
You know, the Red and the Black, it doesn't sound exactly like the song, but the beat of it, every time I watch Animal House and I see Otis Day and the Knights doing Shout, I think of this song. I always think of Red and the Black because it's got that same type of, you know, kind of bouncy feel to it, you know?
Totally. I can hear it. I mean, I never noticed that before, but now that you say it, I can totally hear that. Totally.
Yeah. And OD on Life, man. Definitely of the time, it's just stripped down, kick-ass rock and roll.
Yeah. It's the most straight up hard rocking song to this point. You know, it's great. And the follow-up song, Hot
Hot
Rails to
Rails
Hell.
to Hell.
Killer, man. Have you ever done a hot rail? Do you know what a hot rail is?
No.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's what they're singing about, but like from what I know, and I have done one. Oh, I've done it a couple of times, but back in my youth, the hot rail is when you lay out like a huge line of crystal meth, and you get a glass tube, and you heat it up with a blowtorch on one end till it's like orange hot, like piping hot, and then you put the hot end to the line, and then you put it up to your nose and inhale, and it vaporizes immediately once it gets into your nostrils, and you blow out the biggest cloud of fucking smoke. I'm talking like a Kiss concert. Like, it's
and it doesn't burn. It's already like cool.
No,
by
it
the
doesn't
time...
burn. No, surprisingly not. And you'll be hot. You'll be up for 2 days minimum. I mean, it fucks you up, man. And I'm not going to say who this person is, but a drummer for a pretty famous doom metal band was they played in town. This is like in the early 2000s. They played in town, and there was an after party at this notorious party house that we all went to after shows. And he was there. The whole band was there, or most of the band was. And he wanted to do a hot rail. We were doing them. And I even said, I was like, dude, you're on tour, man. Don't you have a show tomorrow night? Like, this is really going to fuck you up, man. And he's like, no, I want to do it, man. I want to do it. And he blew it, dude. Like I had nothing to do with the process. I was just watching. But the host of the house, she lit up the tube. You know, she put the blowtorch to it, and he put the wrong end to his nostril. Oh my god, dude! He screamed in agony, and it was stuck to his nose. It welded to his flesh. And he ripped it off. His nose was bleeding. His nostril looked like a butthole. Like it was just all it was all puckered up. So yeah, hot rails are no joke. And after I did mine that day, this was like at 7 a.m. We had been up all night just partying, and we thought it was a good idea to do hot rails at 7 a.m. Right after I did mine, the girl I was with, we decided to drive to Disneyland and go to Disneyland. That was a horrible idea. But yeah, that's my hot rails to hell story. My stories have nothing to do with BOC.
Yeah, exactly. And I like how you try to throw the people off saying it was a doom band. We both know it was Ricky Rocket from Poison.
That's right. How about 7 Screaming Dizbusters?
My God, this one. This one has to be the, more of the original sound than the two before it.
Yeah.
This has that unique Blue Öyster Cult vibe to it, and those lyrics. And ice behind their eyes. This masterpiece from the Cult has some of the most deliciously evil lyrics in music, man. The opening riff sounds like the riff. I don't know if you're aware of the Allman Brothers song "In Memory of Elizabeth Reed."
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's very similar. I'm not sure which song came out first, but yeah, it's very similar to that riff. But yeah, it's one of my favorites on it. One of my favorite Blue Öyster Cult songs, period.
Yeah, it's the most metal song on the album.
Yeah.
Like the most menacing, and the drumming is killer on that song. He's really going off. Tons of fills. But I don't know what the hell is a Dizbuster. I read
I have no idea.
It might be about groupies, but
right.
I'm not sure. There's like some kind of sexual connotation in there. But great track, man. Great fucking song.
Oh, I love it, man. What do you think of Baby Ice Dog?
Probably my least favorite song on the album, but I do like it. I like every song on this album. That's a Patti Smith song, right?
Yeah, and I feel the same way. It's not one of my favorites on here. There is not one hint of suck on this song, though. Right. I do think it's awesome. It's a hard rock song with some cool little twists and turns with those little guitar parts wedged between parts of the song that, I think is pretty cool. But yeah, it would be my least favorite on here.
Yeah. The next song, though, is my favorite song, Wings Weighted Down.
Yeah, I love it.
Great track. first song Joe Bouchard sings for the band, and I think him and Bloom are singing together throughout the track, but they sound great together. It's a very, very just dark song, and I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, they have some of the greatest intros to their songs.
Yep.
And this is one of them. Such a killer riff. And this would be like the stranger side of Blue Öyster Cult. But, it's a hard rocking song draped in very psychedelic sounds.
Yes.
In there, but it's unique, just like the band. I love it. And Teen Archer, what is it? Mistress of the Solemn Salt, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a great straight up rock song. Some creative drumming, I think, on this track. I'm sure you've noticed, right? The drumming on this track?
Definitely, man. It's just the ending of the song is great, man. Like, the drumming's fantastic. It's definitely a step up from the first album. Albert Bouchard's drumming is like he's been practicing or something, or just touring or playing a lot out live. It's just improved his skills big time. He improves with every album all the way up until the end, I think.
Yeah. And his brother's a badass.
Totally, man. Totally, without a doubt.
Now we go into our favorite album. It's your favorite, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Treaties?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite, man. Kicking it off with Career of Evil. This song is so cool, they should rename it The Fonz. Seriously, I think it's... and Patti Smith does the lyrics to this one, I know.
Yep.
And that the character that Eric sings in this song, to me, it's kind of like the same guy, and That Was Me off the new album.
Wow, interesting connection there.
Yeah, because it's like still wrecking havoc and mayhem, taking credit for all his past dirty deeds. And the line, right. Dude, I choose to steal what you choose to show, and I will not apologize. You're mine for the taking. Fucking awesome. Totally. This would be great song to be played at a political rally, because they're all fucking evil, both sides. And I hear this and think of the band Ghost. A lot of people, Ghost sounds like Merciful Fate. I think they sound like Blue Öyster Cult to me. And this is one of the songs that they kind of totally rip off in a lot of their sounds.
I'm wondering if BOC is thankful for Ghost because it's just turned so many new people onto BOC, who never even knew about them, like a younger audience. I like Ghost. Are you a Ghost fan?
I love Ghost, and I get a lot of shit for that, by the way.
Okay, that's lame.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story about Ghost. When they first appeared on the scene, they played. Is it Maryland Death Fest or one of those festivals? Mm-hmm. And we used to rehearse next to a black thrash band, Devastator, who were awesome. And they came back from there going, praising this band Ghost, man. We saw this band Ghost. They were awesome. They were brand new, And then when they became a little big, they're like, Ghost sucks. Fucking posers.
Dude,
that shit drives me nuts.
Everybody turned their back on Ghost after the second album came out, it seemed like,
Yeah, and it's like, I don't like Ghost, but at one time you did, you fuck.
Right.
But, yeah, I really dig that band. I think they're unique. And, yeah, and what I really love about them, because they kind of have that Blue Öyster Cult vibe. You know? And I really dig that about them. But, yeah, I'm a big Ghost fan. I own all their fucking records.
I think their quality has stayed up. I still think the first one's the best, but I like all their albums. I like all their albums as well.
I like their last one. It was very, very commercial, but I still liked it, man.
Yep.
And then we go into Subhuman. Oh, wait, you didn't talk about Career of Evil.
Oh, I love that song. I agree with everything you said. It's a great opening track. I remember the first time I saw BOC after I became a fan, and their intro tape was this really cheesy collage of songs set to like a techno drum beat. And I was like, oh no, man, like this is not the way to start the show off, And the first like 3 or 4 times I saw them, they were still using that cheesy intro tape. They don't do it anymore. And I'm glad they dropped it. But it would be like a techno drum beat, and the riff to Career of Evil would be over it. And I was like, no, No, stop. But yeah, I love the song, man. It's a great opening track, and probably the most. I mean, it's still kind of like psychedelic-y and has a '60s flavor to it, but it's kind of the most straightforward song on the album in a way. So yeah, I think it's great. I love it.
I love it too.
I love Eric Bloom's voice. He's my favorite voice in BOC. So his songs are always my favorite.
He's got a menacing voice.
Yeah.
You know, he sounds like a delinquent, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
Where Buck sounds like an angel. It's kind of like a yin yang going on there.
Yep.
And I love Buck's voice too. What do you think of Subhuman?
Awesome, dude. Awesome song. And very, very 60s, like just total bad trip. It's like a bad acid trip all over again. I love it, man. And it's kind of mellow and it's all over the place, kind of. Actually, like, it's a really cool tune.
Yeah, I love it too. And the classic line, so ladies, fish, and gentlemen. You know, it's like, what the fuck? Totally. Very cool yet strange. And I find this song kind of hypnotic, you know, and I love Joe Bouchard's bass work on this track, you know. And I got to say, it's not as mind-blowing as, to me, the definitive version is on Your Feet version, but this is still just flat out kicks culo, man. Culo means ass in Spanish.
All right.
You know? I love it. I'm a big fan of Subhuman. It's one of my favorites on here. What do you think of Dominance and Submission?
Oh, shit, man. Fucking awesome, dude. You know who does a really, really killer version of that song is this band from here called Blind Illusion. Are you familiar with them?
I thought, wasn't there a Blind Illusion in the Bay Area?
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said from Europe.
No, from here, I said.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know who they are, right?
Yeah, I do know who they are. Kind of thrashy.
Yeah, they're kind of a weird thrash band in their own right. Yeah. But yeah, they do a really awesome version of that song, and I don't think I've ever seen them play it live. BOC play it live. The only time I've ever seen it is when Blind Illusion does it. But yeah, killer track, dude. Killer track. No, I've seen
goes up here.
Yeah, I've seen BOC do Dominance.
Yeah, I did too. I believe it's on that show, that MTV. So it might be on YouTube. You can see them do it from the show I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, this this has one of the best guitar solos of all time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Buck Dharma is so underrated, and Sandy Pearlman, says this song is a reference to losing innocence around the time of the Beatles invasion. I took a little note here on this song because I wanted to look more into this song because I just feel it's so. What the hell's it about, you know?
Right.
And also I got the Martin Popoff book, Secrets Revealed, and the Secret Treaties chapter. You know, he says from an understanding this song's lyric content is the relations of the Illuminati assassination of the JFK. You know, it's all over the place. It's an amazing song, and it's totally unique.
Totally.
You know? It's totally, that's why I love this fucking band. Now, the next one is called ME262, which has something to do with the album cover, too. You know,
it's about the plane on the cover. That's a German fighter plane.
Yeah.
Which actually, they caught some heat for that.
Did they?
Yeah, people started like mumbling that they're,
Nazis.
A Nazi group, yeah.
Right.
I've actually read, like, other members have said that Eric Bloom kind of took the Nazi thing a little too seriously at times. I'm not saying he's a Nazi, but I have read that Sandy Pearlman said that he, like, the whole Nazi thing was just kind of a joke to them and it wasn't something serious, but that Eric Bloom kind of took it a little seriously at times.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Lemmy got shit for it, but Lemmy hated the Nazis, just loved the clothes.
Yeah.
You know? And he loved, like, the memorabilia of it, but he wasn't a Nazi, you know. I mean, he slept with black chicks. Come on. You know?
Right. And how about Jeff Hanneman?
Yeah, he was another one. Yeah. Angel of Death. And then didn't he have like the Iron Cross on his guitar or something like that?
He did. And he also like collected all kinds of Nazi memorabilia. Like he had Nazi money.
Oh, wow.
He was very interested in it. I don't know how seriously he took it or if he took the ideal seriously, but Yeah, he was into collecting the paraphernalia at least.
Yeah, you know
And
who
like,
also did was Ace Frehley, but he is a Nazi.
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
yeah,
But did you ever see that picture of Paul Stanley wearing one of the Nazi uniforms?
it's him and Peter Criss, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what the hell is that all about?
I don't know, man. There is also a story where Gene was banging some groupie and Ace like kicked in the door wearing a Nazi uniform and a boombox with Hitler talking, and
Jeez.
Gene was not happy about that.
Yeah, Ace seems to really put a lot of time and effort into his jokes,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, ME262. What band can ever make lyrics like "blast from cluster rams quarters in my snout" and make it work?
Yeah.
Again, I like the live version. It's the best, man. But again, since you're a drummer, I got to bring this up. Albert's drumming on this song is so cool.
Totally.
On ME2, it's an awesome song with Blue Öyster Cult giving you a history lesson of a World War II fighter plane and, heavy metal fruit.
Totally.
Love it, man.
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome. And I do love the live version. I also love the version that's on Cult Classic. I don't know if you're familiar with that album.
no, you know what? I think I have it. Recently, somebody sent me, dude, the box set of the CD box set for free.
Oh, my God.
I think it's in there. Yeah, dude, he sent me. It was I think it's Frontiers or whoever labeled it on, like some kind of promo package. It brought the box set and then separately Heaven Forbid and the Curse of the Hidden Mirrors separately.
Wow.
And I was like, and I believe Cult Classics is in that box set, but I haven't heard it yet.
I'm not sure. I have that box set, and I don't remember Cult Classic being in there.
There's two separate, that's not on the. So I was thinking one of them is Cult Classics. I may be wrong.
Okay, but in any case, I love that album, Cult Classic. I like all the versions on that better than the originals.
So they redid a bunch of songs.
Yeah, it's all re-recorded. All re-recorded versions of songs spanning their entire catalog, and it's got I think it's the drummer they have now currently is drumming on that, and yeah, the drums are just produced so well. The production is great. I mean, it's like a '90s production, but it sounds so clear, and the drummer is like doing lots of double bass, and it's really killer, man. But the version of this song on Cult Classic is really, really awesome.
I need to get Cult Classics then.
Yeah,
it's do not own
definitely
that.
Definitely worth it.
Cool, man. What do you think of KG Cretans?
Great song. And if I remember correctly, because I have also read a Martin Popoff BOC book, not the one you were talking about though. The one I have is Agents of Fortune. It's just have you read that book?
No.
It's doing exactly what you and I are doing right now. It does. It just goes from album to album, track to track.
Right.
So it's very detail oriented. Great book. But I believe in that book, he said that they never played that song live ever.
Oh wow.
Which is kind of crazy. I mean,
yeah, it is.
They've done a lot of touring, man, and played a hell of a lot of shows. And I wonder why they never played it live. I mean, it's a good tune.
Yeah, it's a great tune. Weird.
Yeah.
I think that the drums sound pretty tame at the beginning. Then suddenly the drums sound kind of violent and loud.
Yep.
And more menacing after the guitar solo. Yep. It's like Albert picked up on the energy Buck threw down, on that perfect guitar solo. And what a solo, man. And the verses are kind of psychedelic combined with, some menacing vibe. And, it's a cool contrast, in that one line, mother never runs except when rape is near. Yeah. I don't think those lyrics would fly today, but it's a strange and awesome song, though.
Yep, totally.
Love it.
That's the first song on side 2, right?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it is.
Yes. Side 2. Dude, side 2 of this album is the best.
Oh, it's shit.
It's the best BOC out there. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fucking
my
awesome.
favorite song's coming up. My favorite song is on side 2. What do you think of Harvester of Eyes?
Awesome. They always play that live, like still, and it's always a highlight, like one of the highlights of the show. Man, I love this track. It's kind of boogie woogie. It's great opening riff. Yeah, it's just awesome. The lyrics are cool. I'm not quite sure what it's about. I don't know if it's connected to the whole Sandy Pearlman, Imaginos story, but I like the lyrics though. They sound cool and they definitely roll off the tongue really well. And yeah, I love it, dude. Eric Bloom, awesome.
Yeah, I love this song so much. And what, again, not repeating myself, but what an amazing guitar, work and solo. It's face gripping, man. The guitar sounds like eyes going down a conveyor belt after, harvesting, and damn, that killer bluesy part at the end that goes into that some like music box sound. It's just insane. It's just insane.
Have you read? Do you know the story about that music box?
No.
I think if I remember correctly, that they found that music box in the recording studio, like in a storage room or something, and it plays music. The music it plays, they couldn't identify what it was until years later. They put it on the album anyways, but they didn't know like where that music originated from. But then many years later, it was from some Russian, I think a Russian ballet or something like that. But the whole story about it's kind of creepy. Like it just, no one knows where this music box came from or why it was there. And it's like, playing music that no one can identify. And it's just so Blue Öyster Cult, man.
Yeah. It fits perfect because it's so weird.
Yeah.
That it kind of fits perfect with the whole weird vibe and it's just the subject matter. Harvester of Eyes,
Right.
It's kind of like a kitchen sink thing,
Right, right.
Cool.
It's totally awesome. And then like the fucking segue into Flaming Telepaths. I mean, that's just awesome, dude. It's perfect.
Yeah, it is. And I'll take this one because I gotta say, man, Flaming Telepaths is like my second favorite Blue Öyster Cult song of all time.
Yeah,
definitely my favorite on here. That piano in the intro is hitting that note that sends like shivers down my spine.
Yep.
And if you don't get emotional after Buck's solo, then you're a narc. Seriously.
Yeah.
This band defines the term deep cut. And what a masterpiece of a song. It's like I think Veterans of a Psychic War is this song's sequel. I think I heard that from somebody.
That would totally make sense. And this song is definitely a part of the Imaginos storyline. Like it definitely falls into it. Another cool thing about BOC, and this song's a good example, they always have interesting backing music during the solos. Like the solo breaks are sometimes the best part of the song. Like the riff they're playing underneath the solo is always interesting. And it always takes like a left turn kind of like, and this song is a prime example. I love the backing riff during Buck's solo. It's just freaking awesome.
No, it's great, man. This song leaves my jaw flat on the ground. It is an epic of epic proportions, and I love that. And the joke's on you.
Yeah, at the end, great way to end the song, man.
I'm telling you, the jokes are on the idiots who do not grab the hairy sack of Blue Öyster Cult and swing from them nuts. That's what I think. And of course, it goes into what a way to end the album. What do you think of Astronomy?
It's my favorite song on the album.
I blame you.
And that was really the song that I mean, I liked the whole album leading up to this song when I first got the album, but when I heard this song, that was what made me decide that I loved Blue Öyster Cult. It's just, it can't be denied. The album ends with like just a total sci-fi, like the outer space wind sound or whatever it is. Like I just love the lyrics are great, and I think this song is also a part of the Imaginos storyline as well. And this it's a perfect song, and I actually like Metallica's version of it too.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get into that one, but
Oh really? You didn't like it, huh?
Yeah, no, but I think it's cool they gave this song the attention it deserves.
Yeah.
And people, they got millions of people to go listen to the original and realize, how fucking amazing this band is.
Totally.
But Yeah, I couldn't get into any of those Garage Inc. songs except this two of the older ones. And I'm not one of those, dude. I may not be crazy about a lot of Metallica albums, but I think it's so trendy to bash them that I kind of like stay away from bashing them.
Me too.
But yeah, to me, it's just too trendy. It's just a trendy thing to bash on Metallica. That I don't know. It's the same with Nickelback. I don't like Nickelback at all, but I'm like, I ain't gonna bash them because everybody is. You know what I mean? It's just so. Yeah, I'd rather stick to Sammy Hagar. Now, that's a good one. But I love this song. I think it's the perfect way to end their album. To me, it's kind of like their Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
And
but better.
yeah. And to me, the lyrics, like, it don't make sense, but they still sound so perfect to me. At least to me, it don't make sense. But I think it's amazing.
It's kind of impossible to figure out the Imagino storyline because like their songs aren't really in a proper order to figure out what the storyline actually is, So it's all just random references and it's really hard to follow. But I agree, the lyrics are great and like so to take a walk with me on the beach and all that stuff is just I love it. It's perfect. It fits in perfectly, even if you don't understand what exactly they're talking about. It still feels right.
I love it, man. All right, well, the next one is a live album, On Your Feet and On Your Knees. What do you think of this one?
It's fantastic. Great album cover, too. And I love the logo. I like people say that's like the first official heavy metal looking logo. And I'd have to agree with them. I think it's awesome. I think it's a bizarre. The album starts off really bizarrely. Like the first track is Subhuman. And then after the first song, it says, "Will you please welcome Blue Öyster Cult?"
Yeah.
I've always tripped off of that, and I've never read anything about that. Like even in the Martin Popoff book, he doesn't really go into detail why exactly do they do that. But it's cool. I mean, it's different, but I love it.
I think it's one of the greatest album covers ever.
Yeah.
There's something so dark about it, that what is that, a church?
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's an amazing double live album. And most songs on here I like over the studio version that I still think kick much ass on the studio albums.
Yeah.
But, much like Priest did on Unleashed in the East, I kind of like those versions more, but goddamn, I love those studio versions of the song. But
they're totally different animals, especially with the Judas Priest. Completely different.
So, there's one, dude, I've never in my life have liked the song Born to Be Wild. I don't know why. I just don't like it, and I don't like when they play it. I turn it off after Maserati GT. I ain't got you. I was like, all right, I don't have to listen to the rest. Which is cool. They placed it at the end, so I don't have to sit through it. So, but, I do like how, they leave it at the end of the album. There's no skipping involved, But I think it's a killer live album. I mean, we don't have to go through songs because we already did. But overall, we both love it.
Totally. You know who does the worst cover of Born to Be Wild? The Cult.
Oh, I never heard their version.
It's on their second album, or they're on the album Electric. I guess that's
I think that's a pretty cool thing to actually make that song worse. That takes talent. That's pretty badass of them.
I'm with you. I've never dug that track either. I can't pinpoint exactly why I don't like that song, but I'm with you 100%.
It's just one of those songs, and it's not even. It's not that I dislike it because it's played out. I even the first times I heard it, I was like, But now we're gonna go into their most. I believe the one that sold the most.
Definitely.
Agent of Fortune. Like this. So I gotta say something though. I like this album more now than when I first got it because, I still don't think it's as good as the Black and White period. It's different, but it's a cool fucking album, and it was a grower on me, But I know I'm gonna have some unpopular opinions when it comes to this album, because there's some things I don't like about it. But I think it's the biggest seller because it has "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Yeah, I mean I think it sold 2 million copies in America.
Probably.
I think that's the only double platinum album they have. I know the live album, On Your Feet, was their first gold album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that one went gold first. and then this one went double platinum, and then Spectre's went gold, and they had a string of gold or platinum albums all the way up until Fire of Unknown Origin, I believe. Yeah, but I love this album. Definitely a noticeable improvement in production. You could tell they had some money and they had some success under their belt, because the drums sound great and just the whole album just has a richer sound than the first three. So yeah, you could tell they were playing with money by that point, and it works. It works. They're a band that deserves the best production possible, because they have so much going on in every song.
I agree.
Like you just gotta throw them the money.
I hear that, man. And what do you think of the opening track, This Ain't the Summer of Love?
Awesome. It's total. I love the lyrics. It's kind of. I think it's about the end of the Summer of Love, it's the end of the hippie era. It might be a reference to Altamont again, because a lot of people say that's when the '60s died, is when Altamont happened. So I like it. I like how they use biker references, and it's a great opening track, man.
Right. I feel different.
Oh, you don't like that song?
The thing is that dude, everybody agrees with you. I've had discussions about this song with other people. It's like, I don't hate it, but I don't think it's that great either. I think it's just pretty good, Yeah, and also, like, when the song starts, it's right out the gate, I hear a difference,
Oh, definitely.
I don't really think it's a strong opening track, and I know many people be leaving comments saying how I'm wrong, and you're right, so, there you go. But that's how I feel about it. Now, the next one, True Confessions, this is like when some great music meets like meaningless lyrics. I love Alan's vocals on this, and I do like the song, but the horns, I think, were unnecessary, were not necessary, and it makes it dip quite a bit for me. But luckily, they went back to the cool music again. Yeah. So, from a scale to 1 to 10, I would give this one like a 6.5.
I love this song just because Alan's really not that good of a singer, but I love his voice, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I love his voice on this track.
Yeah, I can totally understand why he didn't sing that many songs with BOC. I think it's an odd choice for the second song on the album.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the opening track, it's kind of misleading, because when you hear the opening song, you're expecting like a heavy album all the way through, and then it goes right into, no BOC album's heavy all the way through, but it's a weird second song. But I do like it a lot. I like. I have the 5 singers in BOC. He's number 6.
Yeah.
But I do love his voice too, and it's a cool little tune. I agree with you. I don't like the horns. I don't really like horns in general.
Me neither.
Yeah, when horns kick it, like Aerosmith has fucked up so many great songs with the fucking saxophone solo or something.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. Though, a song coming up that has horns on a future album, I really like. And trust me, Will, I hate any instrument you blow into. Yeah. But sometimes there's an exception. And there is an exception coming up on a future album that the horns come, and I'm like, wow, they don't bother me on this. They kind of like, I don't know, it kind of benefits it. But we'll talk about that when we get there. What do you think of the hit, Don't Fear the Reaper?
I can't get into it, man. It's not because it's not a good song. It's just I just never need to hear that song again. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it is a good song. But I tend to skip that song sometimes when I listen to this album. I'm just so burnt on it. I'm so burnt on it.
Well, this to me is the best song on the album.
Wow.
I think it's perfect in every way. That beautiful guitar chords, the melodic soloing, the eerie change in the middle, that ripping solo. If Astronomy did not exist, this would be their Stairway to Heaven, I think. If this song was on Secret Treaties along with Godzilla, I think this band would be more loved to the masses. And is this song played out? Yeah, sure. to many people, but really not to me. I think it's a timeless gem and it never gets old to my ears. My only complaint about this song is that the cowbell is very low in the mix. So I don't get why this song gets used in that Saturday Night Live skit. They should have used Mississippi Queen instead. That's what I
Dude, you've totally hit the nail on the head. I gotta be honest, man. When I saw that skit, I the first thing I said was, "There's cowbell in that song."
Yeah.
I don't remember ever hearing that cowbell until I saw that skit, and then the next time I heard "Don't Fear the Reaper," I had to listen really hard, and I was like, "Oh yeah, there is a cowbell going along in the background." But yeah, I'm not quite sure why that song was chosen to be a cowbell skit. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And I agree with you too. I thought the same thing. And then I went and listened to it and I'm like, oh yeah, I vaguely hear it. I kind of hear it. Yeah. I do hear it, but it's so low in the mix. It's like, Mississippi Queen is really loud in the mix,
Yeah. What do you think of that skit? That Saturday Night Live skit?
I thought it was fucking hilarious because of Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
I just love his delivery. It cracks me up. Not so much, I mean, it's kind of funny and amusing, the Blue Öyster Cult members, or what's that popular actor's name, hitting the cowbell.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah, it was kind of amusing. His shirt's too short and, his gut hanging out. I thought it was kind of, but it was, I got a fever. It's like.
I gotta say, they nailed the costumes and the wigs and the mustaches pretty well, man. They did kind of look like Blue Öyster Cult.
And I saw an interview. This is great. I saw an interview with Eric Bloom. They asked him about it, and they go, what when was the first time you heard about it? He goes, heard about it? I saw it when they first aired it, and I was in my couch going, oh my God, oh fuck, they're really gonna fucking ream us now. Because he saw Behind the Music of Blue Öyster Cult. He goes, oh, shit. Then he ended up saying, yeah, they didn't really make fun of us, and I actually really enjoyed it, But, yeah, he saw it live when it happened. He didn't, and then he said while he was watching it, his phone was blowing up. Dude, you see what's going on? He's like, yeah, I'm watching it now, But, yeah, it is a great skit, though, man.
Totally. And
I love it.
I don't want people going away from this thinking I was slagging this song. I know it's a good song. And it deserves.
It just does nothing for you. There's a lot of good songs that do nothing for me.
Yeah, it probably would. If I hadn't heard it, 600,000 times, I probably would appreciate it more. But I'm just so burnt on it, man.
Yeah, I think if you would have heard it first in the context of the album before it became overplayed, you might have enjoyed it more.
Like I remember, at going back to state fairs and county fairs when I was a kid. Whenever the carnival or the fair would come to town, back in the day, they would, if you popped a balloon or threw a dart at something, they'd give you a bootleg shirt. You could choose from like a rock mirror. Remember those things, the rock mirrors?
Yeah, I loved them. Yeah.
Oh, I still have all of mine. But they would also have kind of shitty bootleg metal shirts. They were actually really cool, some of the designs. But I remember the most popular one was a shirt that just said "Don't Fear the Reaper" on it with a Grim Reaper. I was like, oh God, anything but that one,
All right.
But the next song is my favorite BOC song.
Hell yeah, Extraterrestrial Intelligence. What do you think?
It's my favorite BOC song. I wish they'd play it more often. I've only seen them play that a handful of times. Eric, that's one song that Eric Bloom still can sing really well. So I don't know why they don't do it every time. But yeah, I love that song. I love the live version on ETI Live or Extraterrestrial Live.
Yeah,
that version is the quintessential version of the song. But I just the singing about the Men in Black and the lyrics, and just it's a beautiful song. I love the melodies, and Eric Bloom really shines on that tune.
Yeah, I love it. This has that black and white period vibe.
Yep.
This tune, killer riff. This is beyond classic. But really only known to BOC fans, which is a shame. And they did play it at that show where MTV was at, and I know for a fact that's on YouTube, that version. Okay. But I think the song is awesome. It is my second favorite track on the album. I do love it. So it's a good 1-2 punch, and to me, it's like when Don't Fear the Reaper comes, that's when the album kind of kicks in for me. The next song is called The Revenge of Vera Gemini. This song is back to a different vibe, like from the black and white period too, I think. But I really like this one. It has this relaxing vibe to a mid-tempo beat, not very talked about. And I like Patti Smith's vocals in this song, and I find it very enjoyable. It's weird, but I dig it.
Yeah, I think it's cool that she does a duet with Albert Bouchard, and it's the weirdest song on the album. It's definitely BOC though. I mean, they always throw you a bizarre track. Every other track is a bizarre track, but I dig it. Yeah, it's a cool tune. Going back to Don't Fear the Reaper real quick. I reading that Martin Popoff book. I didn't know there was a suicide scare around that song. Like the people were there was like in 76 or 77, there was like a bunch of teens started killing themselves, and they were connecting that song to it. Did you know anything about that?
No, I never heard that. I never heard about that.
Yeah, and after I read that, I pulled out the lyrics and read them again, and I never really made the connection that it's a suicide song. But I guess, after reading the lyrics, it could definitely be seen that way. I could totally see that.
Yeah, it's kind of telling you not to fear death. Yeah, now I think about it. I have the lyrics going through my head now. It's, season don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind. It's, come on, baby. It's like, come on, kill yourself.
Totally.
I never noticed that. Yeah, you're right. I never really noticed that connection.
But going back to Vera Gemini, cool tune. Very weird.
How about Sinful Love?
I love it. I love it, man. Another Bouchard song, a fucking killer. I think that's the first song that Hell on Wheels person was involved with. She wrote a bunch of songs from this point on. She was on almost every album. She was like some punk rock chick from New York. You ever hear of her?
No.
Yeah,
I know. I know about her, but I don't really. I didn't know she was a punk rock chick or anything like that. But I was aware of her songwriting. Yeah.
She was like, I don't know her music. I'm not familiar. I'm not going to try to act like I know anything about her, but I have read about her, and she hung out with. I think she dated Albert Bouchard for a while. But this is the first song she co-wrote with the band, and cool, man. I like I Love You Like Sin. Some cool lines in the song.
Yeah, but I won't be your pigeon.
But I won't be your pigeon. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love Albert's voice on this. I think the song has a really awesome flow. I think it's a cool track. I dig it. Yeah. Now, next one's very strange. What do you think of Tattoo Vampire?
I dig it, man. It's like upbeat, it's kind of psychedelic at the same time, and it has all the elements of BOC wrapped up into a concise little package. Who Phil Demmel just did or not just, but recently did a cover of this song. Did you ever hear that?
No.
Yeah, he has like a super group called I think it's called like BPMD, which is Bobby Blitz on vocals.
Oh yeah, I've heard about the band. Yeah,
they did Tattoo Vampire. I was shocked. I was like, whoa, talk about a deep track that no one ever talks about, And they did a really ripping job. I was shocked how well Bobby Blitz sounded. I mean, not that I'm not a fan of Bobby Blitz or anything, but pulling off Eric Bloom's not an easy thing, and he did a really good fucking job of Eric Bloom, man. It's cool.
I definitely got to look into it, and it's funny because just yesterday I heard a track from that band, and I really liked it. But
was it a cover tune or was it
no? I think. Well, if it was a cover tune, it's a cover I didn't know.
Okay.
But I did hear a song, and I dug it, man. But when I first got this album, this was my favorite. Actually, the first time, it's like I got this song on first listen. It's not a grower for me. It's as strange as anything they did before, but it has this metallic edge to it.
Yeah.
And I think this song smokes. And I made a video for this song where all I did was use footage of Nosferatu, that old movie.
Yeah.
And kind of matched up pretty fucking cool. But all right. So how about the next one, Morning Final?
It's my least favorite song on the album. I mean, even though I said I'm sick of "Don't Fear the Reaper," I know "Don't Fear the Reaper" is a better song than "Morning Final." But yeah, it's my least favorite song. I think Joe sounds good on it; he sings well. But it just kind of, yeah, it doesn't do much for me.
I gotta tell you, man, it took me a while, to wake up to this because I think it's great, but I didn't get it for a while. I love that he said he was a junkie and he punctuated his walk with a gun.
Yep.
I love that line. It's got a funky vibe to it, and there's a lot of stuff layered on this track. But I find it kind of like masterful and tasty. I love the poetic lyrics, and I dig the music. It's a shame, to say the least, that these guys weren't more successful, with their, diversity. I think their diversity is kind of like what turned a lot of people off.
Oh,
But
definitely, dude. Myself included. Like I said, when I hear those albums when I was a little kid, my sister would be playing them, and when you're a little kid, you just want everything loud and fast and hard, And I thought the BOC albums were just too inconsistent,
yeah,
But now I embrace it. I love the variety and the quirkiness of it all. But you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people they just couldn't handle the variety.
they need that straightforwardness on everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I feel like Morning Final and Tenderloin, is like one song. They just go together. And I love Tenderloin.
I love it too.
I think it's a really cool tune. What do you think of it?
It's great, man. It's kind of dreamy. I love the lyrics, and you know what that song's about?
No.
It's about the Tenderloin neighborhood in San Francisco, which is the worst neighborhood in San Francisco. It's it's jaw dropping even to this day. It hasn't changed since he wrote that. Since that's an Alan Lanier song, right? Yeah, yeah. It hasn't changed since he wrote that song. I guarantee you. It's you can get any drug you could possibly imagine within like 10 seconds, and
Wow.
there's just people taking a shit on the sidewalk, and it's just homeless people everywhere, and it's dangerous, really dangerous. There's nothing but liquor stores and dive bars, and it has its charm, and it's right behind the Warfield. The Warfield's on Market Street, and then the neighborhood right behind the Warfield is the Tenderloin, and it's just known as the neighborhood to get heroin or pills or whatever you want. It's very, very sketchy neighborhood, and apparently Alan Lanier liked that neighborhood. Well, he was a hardcore partier, from what I've read, so he probably spent a lot of time in the Tenderloin whenever BOC came through town. And so that's one of the reasons why I like the song so much, because it's about San Francisco, and it's a sentimental value. And I'm not gonna lie, I've done some time in the Tenderloin. But yeah, I think it's a really, really, really cool tune. I love it.
Yeah, I dig it. What do you think of the final track, Debbie Denise?
I like it. I think it's kind of a weak ending for the album, but I do dig the song. It's good. It's good. Doesn't blow me away.
I like Alan's vocals on it, and yeah, the song is okay. Sounds very 70, and that's not like a bad thing, but to me, it's like missing something. It could be better if they added something else, something catchy. So, I give the song 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would have to say 5 out of 10 as well. It's just kind of it's a bit of a lackluster ending to the album, a little bit.
It sounded like, they should have worked a little bit more on this tune. I just think it's missing like the hooks. It could have been better. All right, I'm going to stop it right there because this is a long conversation. As you can see, we're talking about every single song off every single album, and this conversation lasted like 4 hours. I shit you not. So next week we'll go into part 2. It might be even 4-part episode. We'll see. All right, so let's go into the vault. We are inside the vault, and I'm going to play something Will touched upon. I looked it up. It kicks ass. It's the project Phil Demmel did, and it has Bobby Blitz on vocals and Mike Portnoy on the drums and Mark Menji from Metal Allegiance doing Blue Öyster Cult's Tattooed Vampire off Agent of Fortune. Check it out. Tattoo Vampire from BPMD. That's the band. That's the band's name with Phil Demmel and Blitz and Mark McGee. Is that how you pronounce his name? And Mike Portnoy. And so, hey, thanks everybody for watching. For listening. And next week will be part 2. So thank you, everybody. Thanks everybody out there that's sharing the show. I'm going to start writing down names to all you people that share the show. I really do appreciate it. And I really do appreciate if you're listening to my voice right now. So next week we start with Spectres. And I don't know, I'm probably going to do like an hour's worth the next week and an hour's work of the next 2 weeks after that. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Till next week, schmack-a-magob!